I was just having this conversation today. Someone wrote a play or a short story about the real-life hotel that all the dwarfs during Wizard of Oz lived in. And oh shit, I can't remember the name, but basically they all stayed in the same hotel and had massive orgies and did drugs while they were filming The Wizard of Oz. And later in life, what's her name, Judy Garland, kind of told on them and told bits of the stories, and so they were all really pissed off because they gave her a bad name. Or gave themselves a bad name. Anyway, it's called like Dwarf Hotel. It's a great name. I think it's a play. So basically there is this guy, who I don't remember his name, and the story opens up and he's eating at home and decides to go to bed early or something. And he's eating duck or something or goose. He only wants to have a little bit of it. A snack. And he goes to bed. I think he's irritated or something. And there's a knock on the door after like he's just gone to sleep, and basically there's this note from this guy. The note says, "I finally got permission to open the mummy case. Come over immediately." So the guy wakes up, runs over, and it's probably midnight. They get over there and there's this oblong-shaped thing. And there's a couple of other guys there, and they're pretty excited, and they're drinking beer, and they're like, okay, let's open it. And it's like Russian dolls, and they open it up and there's this mummy that's wrapped not in traditional mummy garb, almost like maybe it's in plaster or something. It's not sheets or whatever. I guess maybe a toe is hanging out of this thing, or part of the face. And they're examining the mummy, and they realize it's an Egyptian mummy too. I think that comes into play because eventually they start talking in ancient Egyptian. They kind of have this idea that they're going to apply electricity to the mummy and see if they can shock it back to life. And they're kind of joking, but they are a little bit serious, but they are mainly joking. And so they're like, let's do it. And so they hook up electricity to the mummy, and his leg moves, and it freaks them all out. And they're like, no, let's do more, and they make some sort of incision on his nose. And the mummy fucking springs to life. And the first thing the mummy does is admonish them for their sheer arrogance of thinking they can bring a mummy back to life. The mummy is saying, look, I am a mummy. He was like only 600 years old when he died, but he was embalmed alive because that was what his certain sect of mummy people did, or maybe it was like he had died in the wrong place, and so he looked perfect. So the mummy's very argumentative. And then the rest of the story is they start into this dialogue with the mummy, and it ends up just kind of shooting all these questions at them, and it turns into a pissing match with the mummy. It's like, well, we built this amazing structure. Have you seen how beautiful the White House is? And this mummy is like, fuck you. Have you seen the pyramids?